want to spoil it, we can't stop you, but that is all. Try to be nice.
Be nice, yes.
Be nice. Be cool. In the bottom right here from Invictus Game, this is MacSed.
And his opponent up here in the top left, he is in the red. His name is XY.
Both teammates here. And it really feels like these guys have a heck of a rivalry. Like, they are so close to the match. And I think this is the best way to start off the stream, is to have a best of 3 between 2 players that are just insanely closely matched. It's kind of the story for, you know, we're just talking about GSL, the grand final. Like, Cure and Zest are insanely closely matched as well. So it was they had a lot of stuff going for them before the game started, for sure.
Yeah, that typically makes for better finals. And it makes for better matches in the group stages of EPT. There's been some bangers I've heard in NA and EU time zones, which unfortunately I haven't had the opportunity to catch up on yet. But
yeah,
it's always fun when you wake up in the morning, you check the old tweeter, and you see a whole bunch of people being like, oh my god, this match was so crazy.
Yeah. LOL is what I like to say to my friends casting the North American bracket after 10 hours straight while I was asleep. That said, though, it was more like a 4-hour sleep for Zeph and I last night. We both shared in a very, very late rest, and obviously the games got us super hyped up, so we didn't fall asleep till 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, and then, you know, would you have it? My body wakes me up at 7 no matter what, so whoop, up I go. And there was not enough coffee in the world for what needed to be in my bloodstream to get that to have any kind of function early in the morning.
Oh yeah, you might have had to crack out a boomer juice or two.
Oh yes, yeah. The original boomer juice, black coffee. So XY is getting the command center up here in the main base. Not going to put it on location. I think that's just most Terrans will get it on location. It's actually quite uncommon to get it up high like that. But maybe he's just feeling like, oh, this could be aggressive from MacSed. Maybe he likes to do it on ladder, and it's a bit of a blind prep. But it is, you know, a little strange for the Terran to be getting their CC up in the high ground there.
Yeah. Being safe for the moment. I mean, MacSed heading out with the first Stalker, might head out with the second as well, and just poke a little bit. But it should be totally fine back at home. XY just grabbing, obviously the 1-1-1 opener here, grabbing himself a mine, a few Marines, and we'll see where he goes with the starport as well.
Yeah. Yep, going towards the medevac drop with the winter mines usually. And I always bring it up that it is not just a great harassment, but also basically the way that Terran scouts as well. You can't really scout once, especially if you don't open Reaper, which XY did not. So you're just going straight to Marines. You save the 50 gas on the Reaper, but you get the faster factory, but you do need to see what's happening in Protosville, and you don't want to scan. You want to drop mules. So better send that medevac over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we do have the robo coming out here for MacSed, and he's adding on an extra couple of gates. It doesn't look like he's added any other tech, right? No Stargate, no Twilight?
No. I mean, the robo is the only tier 2 thing he's done tech-wise. I haven't seen a Twilight yet, which is interesting because most PVT openers, I feel, are Twilight-based, right? Blink.
Yeah.
It just seems like such a very, you know, the most common tool even in the Protoss utility belt against Terran.
Yeah, so I'm sort of looking at this being like, okay, 3-gate robo, I guess. Like, yeah, a lot of people are opting for Twilight. Very normal way to approach the game, gives you a few options, but he's actually going straight into the Immortal, so I wonder if he's sort of going to come out swinging here.
Yeah, I mean, making Immortals this early, this basically means that you want to go across the map, right? Yeah, okay, the War Prism is what he is making instead. Making an Immortal so quickly was so weird. So, I mean, the Prism makes a bit more sense. A little bit of Widowmine harassment up there in the natural, the main base as well. MacSed. Gotta pull those workers, main. A little bit late, but a good split there on the probe. Well done. Even gets a little bit of friendly fire on the medevac. Doesn't kill though, but yeah. Oh my god!
Oh, you're kidding.
It suddenly went from 2 to 15. Looks like someone else needs a coffee, Insano.
Oh,
Hang your mouse in shame, sir. Oh, I'm just kidding. He's a better observer than I will ever be. It's just banter, guys. It's just banter. But yeah, a huge Widowmine hit there, and the TLDR is that MacSed is taking a massive hit to his economy. Terran being up 9 workers at the 5-minute mark, that's pretty damn good for Terran, and pretty horrible for the Protoss. The Prism gets seen by the Raven. I mean, it went past the Prism. Did he see it though? You know, he saw it, but did he see it? You know what I mean?
This could be a little bit rip in pepperoni for MacSed, to be honest, but XY, you know, he's only concentrated in his natural at the moment with the defenses. He didn't actually notice the Warp Prism, so he's got Adepts in here. Luckily, his Marine's coming up to help defend against that. He's gone for another drop in the main. Citizen's Arrest on the mine. He does clear that out and does get the medevac as well. So, yeah, that could have been a lot worse for MacSed.
You see the initial plan there of MacSed and those 3 Adepts was to maybe shade in and pick off SCVs. 3 Adepts is the magic number to one-shot SCVs. You only need 2 to one-shot probes and drones. We need 3 to one-shot the SCV. So that's the magic number for Terran harassment. And the Prism here is... I mean, it kind of needs to pay for itself. We do have some more convincing robo units on the way. We've got the Colossi on the way. Extended Thermal Lance is being researched as well as +1. All those things are fantastic. Meanwhile, XY is getting up a pretty beastly force, tank-based, with Marauder and Marine on the front line. And with this Raven, can... You know, by the time 2 Colossi are out, he'll have enough energy on that Raven to take them both out of the fight. So, as long as it lives, which... This is why you get Blake. This is why you get Blake. Alright? That's dead if you get Blake. Now it gets repaired.
Thing has
what did we learn,
-2
MacSed?
health. My goodness. Alright. Well, Adepts are in the main. They're trying to get a little bit more damage done, but they haven't had a whole lot of success here. He does save him again, and he's actually been pretty good at keeping those alive, so credit where it's due, but he hasn't really been able to gain any traction here.
No. Yeah, nothing really critical. Nothing, no real big dig in the ribs yet to XY. Meanwhile, the Terran got that huge Widowmine hit earlier.
Yeah.
So there's definitely been a huge blow to the Protoss economically. He's still feeling it, like even after all this time. 2 minutes later, and he's still like not able to get that worker count to where you want it to be.
And he's trying to take a third, but this is right when XY is going to move out. He's seen this, that's why he's dumped the Warp Prism, well, at least the contents of the Warp Prism into the main. He's trying to flee, it does get taken out. But there are tanks here at the ready, and XY, he's marched out with the rest of his forces. That third, I don't think should survive. I think there's enough here. Ooh, there's only 1 Colossus.
Oh, here comes the second one, but again, this Raven's got the 2 interference matrices. He drops 2 of them before it dies. That's all he needs. Dive, goes the buyer, looking for those Colossus pickoffs. If he can get those Colossus dead, then MacSed is going to tap on this game.
Oh, he gets in range of battery just in the nick of time. But there's still 3 tank siege here. Oh, well, that one got absolutely obliterated. The second one in danger as well as he target fires. But is there enough fire to clean this up? It does look like MacSed is just about to tap out. There's so much Terran here.
GG. XY getting it done with the tank push off the back of some lovely Widowmine harassment. Well played to the Terran, taking map number 1 there on Lightshade. And cast your minds back to the map picks. Map 2 is Oxide, which in this humble caster's opinion is not bloody bad for Terran against Protoss. So,
yeah.
Map-wise, feeling a little bit, feeling a little worried for MacSed.
Yeah, that first game didn't exactly fill me with confidence for MacSed, unfortunately. But sometimes that's how it goes. You just get absolutely bonked by a Widowmine shot. And, you know, he got his Warp Prism scouted. That didn't really matter too much because he still got in there. But he never got that much damage done with those Adepts. XY covered himself really well. He was only on 2 bases, just massing up. And from there, you know, MacSed, he didn't really have an opportunity to get back into it, I feel. He didn't, you know, get the big economy. He didn't have amazing tech or anything like that. So limited options for him.
Yeah, he was trying to shark around with Stalkers, but again, without Blink, it's like, how much can you do? Can you really pick off reinforcements or anything going across the map easily with a Stalker ball like that? And then, yeah, you know, the Prism Adept thing was a good idea, but didn't really pay out for him in the end. That was game 1, and we're going to take a short break. When we return, it's going to be game 2. Don't go away. We'll see you then. event for China. I'm Maynard, with me is Zeth, and we are getting into game number 2 very shortly here between MacSed and XY, with Terran XY currently being up 1-0.
Correct. Well said. Yeah, that was a pretty convincing game for XY. So I'm hoping my boy MacSed can bring it back in map number 2. But as you mentioned just before the break, 'tis Oxide, my friend. So don't know that necessarily bodes well for MacSed. But if he did indeed choose it, then
yeah,
cool. Power to him. Hopefully that's what he needs to get back on top here.
Maybe he's got something cooking for this map. Maybe it's proxy Stargate or something like that. Or, you know, the Void Ray proxy is pretty good on most of these maps, Oxide included. But I feel like it's fallen out of fashion a little bit. You know, it was a bit more of a 2020 thing to do, not as 2021.
Yeah, it was like guaranteed to happen at least once. But yeah, like the last opener though was a little bit unorthodox. Who does them robos so early, you know?
Yeah, super fast robo, no Twilight Council, and he's like, I'm gonna load up 3 adepts into this warp prism, and I think I'm gonna win the game with it. And,
no, I'm gonna half make an immortal first, then actually no, I'm gonna make a warp prism. And so it didn't seem very optimal what he was going for there, and didn't really get much. He didn't have the tools after he took that mine hit either to really have a comeback mechanic. So a bit rough. We'll see what he opens with on Oxide. Maybe we just didn't see it come to fruition, so we're like, yeah, that looks kind of weird, maybe bad, but maybe we're wrong. Maybe he had a sick plan and it was just a bit of a spanner in the works there.
Do you think maybe Disruptors would have been a better call than Colossi?
Yeah, maybe.
Good talk. In the top right, from Invictus Gaming in the blue, this is MacSed.
And over here in the bottom left, in the red and leading 1-0, his teammate, XY.
Alrighty then.
See, the thing with the Disruptors is, like, you're still not going to have that many out. I mean, at least you don't have to wait for extended thermal lance, right? But if you fire them off, you kind of got to make them count. And if you don't manage to do that, then you're still just as dead.
It's true. I feel like it's, for me, the Disruptor is a desperation unit. It's like getting the Colossus out can be amazing, and that's definitely a more consistent and more reliable annihilator of bio, especially when you have 3. MacSed, of course, didn't quite get there because of how the start of the game went, but the Disruptor is a little bit more YOLO, you know, a little bit more crazy, but he was already in a ton of trouble anyway, and I think that when you're in a desperate situation, just go for the Hail Mary, you know, start going bowling, get those Disruptors out, and, you know, at that point he would have had 2, and getting rid of the bio was I think the hardest part. Once the bio is gone, getting rid of the tanks is not too bad. But yeah, there was those 3 tanks to worry about as well, which aren't too bad against Disruptors, but they, you know, without Thermal Lance, they're really good against Colossus, which was unfortunately the case with MacSed.
Yeah, true. I think it kicked in towards the end because he did have the 2 Colossi out, but the other thing is he's trying to take a third, so he's positioned out the front there. There were no batteries. He had to run back into his natural, and by that point, one of the Colossi was so bruised that it didn't even matter anymore. It just got one shot as soon as the tanks sieged up. So I think maybe if he had been a little bit further back and just been like, okay, just going to cancel that and try and take some shots but stay near the battery, maybe that would have looked a little bit better, but I still just, XY had too much. So anyway, it's a fresh map. Fresh game for MacSed.
And he's dropping the Twilight Council, which I'm pleased to see, looking like a bit more of a normal opening, not dropping that robo. And also XY, look at this tournament player. Scouting everything around his main base with his Marine. Making sure that he's not being bamboozled by Protoss BS, as they call it.
And no super quick thirds here for XY or anything. He's just going straight up into that starport from this point. Typical 1-1-1 opener. We'll see if he decides to throw in a Raven or 2 in the mix again this time round.
He has been liking the Ravens, for sure. They go so well with the tank, and he's got that tech love to switch over onto anyway, so it definitely makes sense. Some Terrans like to get Banshees, but in TVP, and they can be really amazing, but Not going to be the case in this game. In fact, medevac first from XY.
Ah,
And that
okay.
usually means that he wants to go early here. Like, there's no Widow Mines to load up with. It basically means push, right? Like, go across the map with a bunch of unupgraded Marines, couple tanks, or even load the tank up in the medevac and just show up suddenly with tanks. Can be another part of the strat.
It almost reminds me of that TVT build where you go with your first tank and you park it right next to where it can fire on the ramp, next to that ledge there. Kind of similar, except you have more stuff in this case. So he's coming out with those Marines and boosting that medevac and tank across the map. The SCVs, unfortunately, forced to fight here as the Adeptus snuck back in, but that should be a bit of a warning sign for MacSed as well, going, all right, well, clearly there's nothing to defend here. What's the deal?
Yeah, exactly. Like, if 6 SCVs are fighting your one single Adept, that means you're being attacked. He knows it, but it's a little bit too little too late. The shield battery is on the way, but it's in range now. These Marines, they get stutter step back. The probe's been pulled, but the Marines are just annihilating them with the support of this tank. MacSed is not dead yet, but it's not looking super convincing. That pylon is powering everything, and he gets targeted down. Oh, no.
I feel like that's got to be it. I mean, the pylons are coming back up. If you can get that immortal out, actually, there's not that much tearing here. He does still have stalkers. Once he gets stuff powered back up, he has a shield battery too. Yeah, he should be able to clean this up. This is just a really rough start for MacSed again.
I mean, the thing is, like, yeah, he might die here, and if he does clean it up, unfortunately, it's like, what has he got left afterwards? He's losing a lot of production here as well. Look at how low those gateways are. There's the big blink forward, the right click on the tank. He does get it. The Immortal goes down to the Marines. Oh, man, and there's still enough Marines to fight these Stalkers. These Stalkers, like, yes, there's a Twilight Council. There's Blink finally assisting these Stalkers. But the Blink Micro has not, been, oh my god, very good here from MacSed. He's still losing Stalkers to unupgraded Marines without Stim and no combat shield. They do have medevac support, but these are Marines. You should be able to, crack a little bit here.
Oh, man.
Doesn't want to give him the space.
He needed a second shield battery like months ago at this point. He's microing his heart out, kind of, with these last two Stalkers, but he's struggling to produce anything. And the Immortal comes out, barrier pops right away. He's going to try and target down that tank. It does get picked up by XY at the last moment as well, but he may just be able to push him back, at least get rid of that.
MacSed!
Uh-oh.
Oh, MacSed one of these tanks so bad. He didn't see the high ground tank, though. That was such a clever maneuver from XY. He's just like, I'm going to go back here and park this tank right next to this tank. And, oh, here he comes, right into my trap. Now, XY has still got a hefty supply lead in Army, but his supply lead is also up there in Workers. He did get supply block there, unfortunately, XY. We saw that, naughty boy. Dropping the depot hat there on that depot in the natural. A little bit of a block, but still, a lovely lead here. And while MacSed is alive, I'm looking at him and going, what's the plan, dude? How do we get back from this point?
Yeah, MacSed really hasn't been able to react very well to the things that XY is throwing at him, and XY should have control of the game. I feel, he can just march out again, he can posture, he doesn't need to overcommit or anything, but this is another scenario where MacSed is going to try and expand and XY can just rock up with the huge bunch of army he's got. He doesn't need to have Stim, combat shields +1, that's all coming, but he can at the very least pressure this because there's only like 2 of each unit at the moment, meaning 2 Stalkers and 2 Immortals.
It's just a smattering here, like a dash of units here and there from MacSed. His army is just not good enough. He's going for the Raven. Actually hits the medevac a little bit there, but the point is he's forced to cancel on third base. He's trying to get away with building up a bit more of an economy, but he doesn't have the army to back it up. He just can't stop Terran from denying things like that. The Stalker's coming forward again. Really want that Raven. They do get it, which is nice, but his army still isn't strong enough. And I especially worry for MacSed when the three most important upgrades in early game for Terran are all going to finish around the same time. Stim +1 and combat shield. When all those things finish, I'm really worried for MacSed. He needs Colossi yesterday.
I don't think this is going to be out in time because it's a Colossus without thermal lance as well. He's got the ramp blocked by these tanks. Look how many Marines that is. Doesn't even matter that he has like a -2 health medevac. It's just there's so much firepower here. He's already sort of evacuating his natural so that he has a bit of a spread to attack this with because it's going to be really, really rough. He's trying to take the third up on the high ground there, and XY scans it and see if he even bothers. Oh, the losses!
Yeah, don't do that, XY. Like, he just lost so many Marines there really, really quickly. Obviously, his attack is still not done with. He has a lot more here where that came from. Some Marauders also getting thrown in the mix, which is wonderful. But the one thing that Colossi do and do very, very well is kill Marines. So I'm amazed that he died like that. I think XY knows that he's ahead. He's very likely going to win this game, and he's just getting very excited about it. He's just like, oh, go, quick.
He's on the cusp of a very smooth 2-0, and he doesn't want to let MacSed get to a position where maybe he ends up with enough stuff to defend, but obviously with our bird's eye view of everything that's going on the map, we can see how dire it is for MacSed, and that Robo is right at the front too. So that's something that he has to react to, because otherwise he's going to lose it and not going to be able to defend. And those Immortals need to move. Oh my goodness, they took so much damage.
Yeah, and the Robo is dead now. So now all we have is gateway production for MacSed. He does have charge, but he doesn't have many charge lots. And this bio has been waiting for this moment, just waiting for the Stalkers to come in. And MacSed's got everything on the table right now to try and hold on. XY bringing everything to the front line to gun down. He's been waiting for this from MacSed, and he knows that he is going